B&B 2020. Are you ready?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and here we are at Whilton Mill for this penultimate round of the Rich Energy British Minibikes Championship. My name is Chris Sora, and I'll be taking you through the afternoon's action. As you can see, looking at the paddock on the left-hand side of your screen, another big entry of riders for this penultimate round of the championship. We've got some pretty decent weather. It's fairly... So as the pit bike vets make their way back to the paddock, we take our attentions down to the waiting zone, and the Ohvale machines down in the waiting zone now. They'll be underway in just a few moments. We'll have a look at how they lined up in the morning qualifying sessions. And on the front of the grid is the 179 of Harley McCabe, Luca Hopkins in second place, Henry McCartney third from Ruben Bray, Blake Wilson and Arnie Carr in sixth place. Seventh is Wilson Dilks, Lewis Mullen in eighth, George Bowes and Warwick Brady 10th position, Laken Payne 11th, Monty Hillier in 12th position. 13th is Luca Wilkinson, Cameron Ancliffe 14th, Daniel Stevenson, Kobe Garbett, Izzy Carter and Pierce Reeves in 18th place. And the rest of the field made up of Dan Deering, Charlie Cunningham with no time. Not too sure if Cunningham's taking part today, so possibly 19 bikes on the grid. And the Ohvale machines, yet again, a good entry of riders. We were talking yesterday with the aim of around 15 bikes on the grid by the end of the season, and that's been well and truly exceeded as the season's gone on. So these Ohvale machines, Italian-made bikes imported into the UK for the first time in 2020, and they really have been a hit. Difficult to get the bikes restarted sometimes when the engines are hot, so just the marshals getting a bit of assistance there, but we are ready to go. And the OMG Ohvale race number one gets underway, all off the grid safely, and it looks like Harley McCabe with a good start going through into oblivion for the first time. Everyone nice and sensible around those first two corners as they go charging up to Christmas corner for the first time. Luke Hopkins and Henry McCartney are also well placed, but Harley McCabe leads the way, which is where he needs to be in terms of the championship. He leads by 17 points from Henry McCartney, and McCartney currently in third place. So let's have a look at the number 31 as the race goes on. It's going to be very important for McCartney here to try and get in front of Harley McCabe and claw some points back in terms of the championship going into the final round at Teesside. But Harley McCabe's got a nice start here. Crucially, Luca Hopkins in second place, separating the top two riders in terms of the championship. Hopkins on 109 points going into this round, so certainly Hopkins needs to get in front here as well. So Harley McCabe, the championship leader, in the right place here. First place with two very hungry riders behind him who really do need to get in front. So Harley McCabe with a bit of work here to do. 179, the race leader. He's the rider in front at the moment, though. Won't give up that first place lightly, I don't think. So Hopkins second, McCartney third, Ruben Brain fourth, Arnie Carr, who we think the first champion of 2020, currently in fifth place. Blake Wilson, Lewis Mullen, Wilson Dilks, George Bowes and Warwick Brady running up the top 10 at the end of the first lap as the leaders make their way around the final corner. McCabe leads, Hopkins second, McCartney third. Let's have a look at the lap times as they make their way through. Very competitive indeed, all lapping in the 45s. And Harley McCabe, your fastest rider, the 45.49, but there's not much in it at all as Hopkins all over the back wheel of McCabe, but can't find a way through into Christmas corner. Down the inside there goes Arnie Carr, moving into fourth place, getting past the number 12 of Ruben Bray. They make their way down Zulu. Race leader is still Harley McCabe, Hopkins second, McCartney third. Less than a second covering the top three last time round. Very close as down the inside goes McCartney. Tries to go for second place, but Luca Hopkins has got the line and holds on to that second position. Here they come around the final corner. Still McCabe leading, Hopkins second, McCartney third. Let's have a look at the gap as they cross the line. And that's close indeed. Less than 0.6 of a second. Covering the top three as they go through up towards Christmas corner. And you could certainly say that Arnie Carr and Ruben Bray by no means out of contention here in 4th and 5th place. And you'd certainly say you'd hope that they'd be hoping the top 3 start to scrap a bit for the lead here and hold each other up. Because Arnie Carr and Ruben Bray very much within striking distance. Oh, a great line there from Harley McCabe down the hill. Very quick indeed. Using all the curves, keeping that track as wide as possible. And holds on to the lead quite nicely. But Luke Hopkins and Henry McCartney very close, 2nd and 3rd. Rest of the top 10 made up of Arnie Carr, Ruben Bray in 5th, Blake Wilson, Lewis Mullen, Wilson Dilks, George Bowes and Warwick Brady rounding out the top 10. Further back we have Monty Hillier in 11th place, Laken Payne, Luca Wilkinson, Cameron Ancliffe and Daniel Stevenson a bit further behind. Looking up at the leaders as again Hopkins has a look into Christmas Corner but can't find a way through. Rest of the field made up of Daniel Stevenson, Kobe Garbutt, Izzy Carter, Dan Deering and Pierce Reeves in this 19-rider field. That I think is Reeves. I think that's to be lapped by the leaders. And Pierce Reeves again just holding his line there, letting the faster riders find their way through, not getting in anyone's way, and hasn't really affected the leaders too much. Harley McCabe has pulled away slightly here. We may see the lap times drop on that previous lap. Hopkins had the fastest lap of the race, and yes, they lost about 0.3 of a second maybe, because they were lapping the slower riders. Again, we've got the 46 of Izzy Carter going a lap down. Carter currently in 17th place, and keeps to the left of the track, lets the leaders go through. They don't lose too much time. So, despite encountering slower traffic here, the top 3 still very close, only 1.1 seconds covering the top 3. In reality, that's nothing at all, as Harley McCabe holds on to that lead. It's vitally important here for Harley McCabe to hold on to the lead on the 179 because he's got a gap in the championship. Not very much though. Just to recap going into this race, he leads the series by 17 points from Henry McCartney and Luke Hopkins a bit further behind in 3rd, so they've all got championship aspirations. Hopkins with the fastest lap of the race, 44.58, and starts to close up on McCabe. McCabe's led pretty much the entire race zone. He's not going to give this one up lightly. We're approaching the half distance now. 6 laps to go. Harley McCabe into that slow off-cambered right-hander. Tricky corner as they go down Zulu once again. Hopkins still there, and it looks like Henry McCartney dropping behind a little bit now in 3rd. Starting to turn into a two-way battle here as we look at the... There we see why it's called the boot section. It looks like a boot, doesn't it? Well, that tight left-hander. Double apex right down towards the finish line corner. The leaders make their way, very fast sweep through into oblivion. And that corner, it looks really tight oblivion, but the riders really do carry a lot of speed through that section. So McCabe leads. It looks like they're lapping the 16th place number 25, Kobe Garbutt, who concedes the corner going to Christmas, lets the faster riders through. And of course, these midfield riders, they're having their own battle here. So whilst the sporting etiquette is to let the faster riders through, it's fine. They're not going to jump out of the way, and they shouldn't do either, really. It's just a case of, again, holding the line, letting the faster riders find their way through. And well, I think here that Daniel Stevenson, I don't think he knows it was the faster rider coming through there. So the unfortunate Henry McCartney losing a little bit of ground as Daniel Stevenson holds on to that 15th place. Again, that's the issue sometimes for the faster riders. It's sometimes when they're approaching midfield riders who are battling for position, they don't always know it's a lapper coming through. McCabe seems to have coped with it quite well as they lap some of the midfield runners, and still lapping in the 45 region here. So Harley McCabe holding on quite nicely here. There's the 179. This could be very important in terms of the championship. Again, he's almost motocross style over that curve, really aggressive over that inside line curve going through Zulu, and the bike almost taking off. Really is aggressive down there, but he's got a good line and he's certainly got the confidence to go for it. Here we look at the midfield scrap here. This is the number 11 of Daniel Stevenson, still there in 15th position. Now I think that behind him is Ruben Bray, actually in 5th place. Bray just trying to find a way through around the final corner. And again, we've just got Daniel Stevenson holding on to his line here, just running his own race, and eventually Ruben Bray finds a fast line. He doesn't look too happy there, Ruben Bray, but in fairness to Stevenson, he's not obliged to jump out of the way. Bray's got to find his own way through, but unfortunately for Ruben Bray, he has dropped a little bit of ground there. He goes into 5th place, and he's 10 seconds down on the leader, Harley McCabe at the moment, but looking good in 5th place. Blake Wilson a bit further behind in 6th. Wilson Dilks, George Bowes and Warwick Brady rounding up the top 10 as we look back towards our midfield battle here. There's the number, I think it was Dan Deering going through, and Henry McCartney still 3rd. This is just on the edge of the top 10. Arnie Carr then still in 4th. I think that's that gold helmet we were talking about earlier. Arnie Carr, the new champion, wearing the gold helmet. That, of course, is in our first race of the day. So we saw Arnie Carr a bit earlier on in the Mini GP. Junior Supermoto 90s. He's the first champion of 2020, running 4th in this Ohvale Cup race at the moment, but wearing the special edition gold flake helmet there to signify he's the champion of 2020. Still running well in the Ohvale Cup though, as Harley McCabe, he's still got a championship to try and win here as they go into the last lap. So McCabe, still your race leader. He's come under a lot of pressure in this race, and he really has had to win this race to try and pull some points away in terms of the championship. Came under a lot of pressure earlier on from Luca Hopkins, but the moment seems to have weathered the storm, and McCabe has just got to run his own race here, stay out of trouble going down through Zulu for the final time. McCabe not really under any direct pressure here, nice and neat down through Zulu for the final time, and what could be a very important race victory here in terms of the 2020 Ohvale Cup. It's going the way of the 179. Harley McCabe down towards the final corner. Luke Hopkins still there, but not really going to be able to take a move on the final lap. Harley McCabe takes the checkered flag. It's Luca Hopkins in 2nd place. 3rd for Henry McCartney. There's the 41 going through a lap down. That's the Lake and Payne in 12th position. Arnie Carr looks pleased with that 4th place as he goes through. Then we've got a little bit further down, there's some of the midfield runners there. 76 Luca Wilkinson in 13th from Cameron Atcliffe, as the 12 Ruben Bray goes through in 5th place. Rest of the top 10, we've got Blake Wilson Dilks on the 85 going through in 7th place. There's the number 11 of Daniel Stevenson, he'll finish in 15th place. Lewis Mullen in 8th position. Oh, and this is very close on the edge of the top 10, real mixture of midfield runners going through, but George Bowes, Warwick Brady rounding up the top 10, just ahead of Monty Hillier, who I think is the last rider to finish on the lead lap. So yet again, great action from the Ohvale Cup, and a very important race win there for Harley McCabe in terms of the championship. That will do his prospects a lot of good indeed. Moto number 2 getting underway very shortly for the Ohvale 110 Cup. Just to recap the rest of the programme for this afternoon, this will be followed by the Brap Super Minis, Parker Racing Stock 140 Group B and Group A, and the Race Fasteners Mini GP 190 and 70 rounding out the action a little bit later on. But to start with, it's the OMG Racing Ohvale Cup, and Harley McCabe will lead them away from Luca Hopkins, Henry McCartney in 3rd, Ruben Bray in 4th, Blake Wilson and Arnie Carr in 6th place. 7th for Wilson Dilks from Lewis Mullen, George Bowes, Warwick Brady rounding out the top 10, Lake and Payne 11th, Monty Hillier in 12th, 13th for Luca Wilkinson, 14th Cameron Ancliffe, Daniel Stevenson, Kobe Garrett, Izzy Carter and Pierce Reeves qualified in 18th place, 19th for Dan Deering, Charlie Cunningham a non-starter, and all 19 who started race 1 will also be starting race 2, so no attrition in the Ohvales as they make their way down towards the line for race number 2. Just to recap, in terms of the championship, Harley McCabe went into this round here at Whilton Mill on 140 points. So Harley McCabe on 140 points from Henry McCartney, Luca Hopkins and Ruben Bray. Just a shout out to the paddock, a wallet has been lost. So somebody's lost a wallet. If you find the wallet, please can return this to the timing tower. That's a paddock announcement, a wallet has gone missing. And if it's found, please return to the timing tower. Just to explain, of course, to those people listening to the live stream, the commentary and the paddock announcements today also being wired through to the actual trackside speakers here at Whilton Mill. So you may get 1 or 2 domestics coming through onto the live stream as well. That's just because it's on the same stream. So once again, a wallet has been lost, and if it's found, please can return it to the timing tower just by the finish line. Back to the track though for the Ohvale 110s, and away we go. Good clean start, everyone's got away well into Oblivion for the first time, and they make their way up the hill. Looks like a good start there for Harley McCabe, actually. Up the hill he goes, in towards the top corner. So McCabe leads. Nice clean start, everyone out of trouble. One of the things we were talking about yesterday, actually, with the Ohvale team was about the look of these bikes. We've said this before throughout the year, actually, when these races go underway. They really do resemble scaled down BSB or MotoGP bikes. They really do look the part, and it's almost like a clean slate. And they look nice out of the crate, actually, with the black graphics on. But have the fairings how you like, really. There's a Suzuki race replica down there. There's one or two of the GP replicas in there, and you can really get the bikes looking nice as well with the whichever team graphics you like. So it really has been a hit this year, the Ohvales, I would say. Harley McCabe still leads. It's Hopkins second, McCartney third. There's Arnie Carr. Looks like he's gone past McCartney. Let's just confirm that. Yeah, it looks like he's gone through. There he is with the number. There you can see the helmet with the number 1 on the top there. He's the new champion, of course, in the Mini GP class. And Arnie Carr's having a good race here. He's actually starting to put the pressure on, well, it looks like Henry McCartney, quite possibly. Luke Hopkins, it's Hopkins in second. So Arnie Carr having a look down the inside into Oblivion. Oh, it's always exciting to watch when they try that on, because that is a very fast part of the track. And that really does take some bottle to try and make a move into Oblivion. Didn't come off there, though, for Arnie Carr. He stays in third, and Arnie Carr with a 44.64. Fastest lap of the race for Carr. There he is. The gold helmet, number 1, the new champion in Mini GP. And now trying to close up on Hopkins in second. There's Hopkins on the 41. Carr in third. McCartney fourth. Harley McCabe, the championship leader, pulling away at the front ever so slightly, but only by 9/10 of a second. There's a rider off the track. I think it's one of the back markers, though. I don't think it's one of the contenders at the front of the field. Possibly Dan Deering or Pierce Reeds, but that rider okay in any case, just pushing the bike on the side of the circuit. Harley McCabe has responded now with the fastest lap of the race, 44.5 seconds. Pulls away from the guy in shot here, number 41. Luca Hopkins in second. Oh, as Carr has a look down the inside into Christmas corner. That wasn't on, though. Just a bit of a glance, I would say, more than anything, but it closes up again as they go into Zulu. McCartney in fourth, Bray in fifth. It's still Blake Wilson sixth, Wilson Dilts in seventh from Lewis Mullen, Luca Wilkinson. Monty Hillier gets into the top 10 from Warwick Brady and George Bowes. Laken Payne a little bit further behind in 13th place. Cameron Ancliffe in 14th. Daniel Stevenson, Kobe Garrett, Izzy Carter, Pierce Reeves and Dan Deering rounding up the field with 8 laps to go in this Ohvale race number 2. Harley McCabe, another fastest lap of the race, 44.4 this time. Luca Hopkins almost matching him for pace, so it's very quick, this race at the moment, you would say. Arnie Carr and Henry McCartney, Ruben Bray, they're all lapping in the 44-second region here. And again, Carr having a look down the inside into Zulu. Just trying to get that front wheel in there, trying to intimidate Hopkins, I think. But Hopkins riding strong in second place. Again, Carr diving down the inside. Again, he has a look. He's keeping that pressure on. They've got the 46 of Izzy Carter, who concedes the racing line to the leading group. Carter currently in 17th place on the 46. Just behind the 25 of Kobe Garrett. And there we see again, Arnie Carr's a brave rider down the inside. He's always putting that inside line there, the wheel down the inside. That can be a bit of a tactic sometimes to intimidate the rider you're battling with. Again, Carr looking down the inside. He's not going to get the pass done there, but again, he has another look. Very brave in the braking down the inside. It's all about keeping the pressure on. Certainly Hopkins keeping that line open into the corner. He's taking a wide sweeping line into the corner. There's the race leader, Harley McCabe, who's looking sensible at the front. He's got a nice settled rhythm here. Leads the race by 1.7 seconds as he makes his way through Boot. He's picking his way through the slower riders. Now really moving into the midfield runners here. He's starting to lap them. And I think that may well be Kobe Garrett about to go a lap down as the 179 of McCabe. Oh, again, sensible riding here. Takes his time. Now that was, I think that may have been Kobe Garrett there, 25. Just shut the door on the race leader McCabe, but he didn't panic. He just took his time and made the pass going into Christmas corner. So it means that McCabe's lost a little bit of time there, but he's still got the race under control. This has given a bit of a boost, though, to Luke Hopkins in second, who has pulled away slightly from Arnie Carr. So again, the back markers playing up. Well, I say back markers, he's getting into the midfield runners here, you would say. Looks like he's just lapped the number 11 of Daniel Stevenson, currently in 15th place. Cameron Ancliffe in there as well. So midfield runners, this could play a part going into the second part of the race. And yes, indeed, Luca Hopkins has closed the gap now to 0.8 of a second between first and second place. Arnie Carr still in there. Henry McCartney, Ruben Bray. Here's the 41 though, Luca Hopkins, Arnie Carr and Henry McCartney keeping the pressure on second place, but he really is trying to close up on the race leader, McCabe. McCabe going through the right-hander into Zulu. Again, Carr diving down the inside of Hopkins, trying to find a way through, but look at the 31 here. Henry McCartney really putting the pressure on Arnie Carr as we look at Luca Hopkins trying to close up on Harley McCabe. This Ohvale race number 2 is still wide open here. Any one of 4, possibly 5 riders can take this one. Less than 2 seconds covering the top 4 though, so it is very closely poised with the top 4. In fact, 1.7 seconds now covering those top 4 riders. And they're all in shot going up to Christmas corner as McCartney has a look down the inside of Arnie Carr, but Carr's got the line and holds on to that 3rd place. Hopkins still in 2nd. Always Arnie Carr running very wide on the downhill hairpin, but holds on to that 3rd position. He tried to go down the inside of Hopkins again, I think. 1.7 seconds and last time round between the top 4. There's Carr in 3rd, McCartney 4th on number 31. Harley McCabe still leading this race though and pulls away slightly. I think he's had a good lap and will try and establish the advantage at the front. Yes, indeed he does. 43.91 for Harley McCabe, and he pulls that gap back out again to 1.1 seconds. But still only 2.1 seconds covering the top 4 riders with 3 laps to go as McCartney has a peek down the inside going into Christmas corner, but it wasn't on. Has to yield and hold the line as Carr holds on to 3rd place. It does look like Arnie Carr, he just seems to take a different line into Zulu. Most of these riders seem to take a wide sweeping line into that tight hairpin, but Carr very aggressive down the inside, holds the inside line. It seems to work for him though. Here we go. So, that was actually Carr going down the inside of Izzy Carter, currently in 17th place. Harley McCabe holds on to the lead. The lap times go down slightly, 44.83, still maintaining the gap from Hopkins in 2nd place. Arnie Carr 3rd, Henry McCartney 4th. Shout outs here to some of the Terry Brady, giving a shout out to Harley McCabe, Tracy Allen, and shout out to Bugley number 99. I think it's Warwick Brady. So thanks for watching and hope you're enjoying this action in the Ohvale Cup. 2 laps to go as the 31 of Henry McCartney has now got past Arnie Carr. Finally, I would say, after all that pressure, he looks pleased with that one. Here's the 179, the race leader, Harley McCabe. He's got a back marker or midfield runner, you would say, in front. I think that's number 41 of Laken Payne. Payne holds his line as the leader goes through onto the last lap. Hopkins 1.2 seconds down in 2nd place. McCartney in 3rd from Arnie Carr as Carr tries to fight back going up towards Christmas corner. Now remember, of course, Arnie Carr very aggressive on the inside line. He's going to try that tactic again. Oh, he goes down the inside. Lovely move there from Arnie Carr. Henry McCartney, I don't know if he saw that one coming or not, but he had to yield Christmas corner. And Carr back through to 3rd. It looks like he's made the move stick. There are slower riders in front. Cameron Ancliffe on the number 7, currently in 14th place. And could McCartney take advantage? I don't think he can at the moment. Meanwhile, Harley McCabe, it's been a close race, but McCabe has led pretty much the entire thing and will take a well-deserved checkered flag. There he goes, just behind Garbutt in 16th place. Here comes the battle to the line. Look at this though, very close between Hopkins 2nd, Arnie Carr 3rd by just a few tenths of a second, McCartney 4th, Ruben Bray goes through in 5th place. Very close between those top 4 riders and the rest of the top 10 making their way through. There's Blake Wilson just ahead of Wilson Dilks. Very, very close indeed. There's the 46 of Izzy Carter, and she'll finish in 17th place. We'll have a look and see when the rest of the top 10 come through. That's the, here they come. So there's the 111 of Lewis Mullen as Dan Deering goes through in 19th place. Warwick Brady and George Bowe should be running up the top 10. And there's Monty Hillier. He will be the last rider again on the lead lap, finishing in 11th place. Of course, son of James Hillier. It's been great to have James and Monty along. We spoke to James, of course, last time out at Three Sisters about the Ohvale Cup and about Monty's involvement this year. So very well done, of course, to Harley McCabe. A well-deserved race victory, 2.1 seconds in the end from Luca Hopkins, Arnie Carr and Henry McCartney. But in truth, any one of those four could have taken the victory in what was a very exciting race. But we now